When COVID hit a year ago, many people were thrust into hardship. You may know some yourself. And the staff in one little Sydney cafe in Sydney's inner west decided they wanted to do something to help. The cafe is called Parliament on King. It's in the suburb of Erskineville in Sydney. And it's just a little hole-in-the-wall cafe with a tiny kitchen. And it started serving food through their shop window to those who were most in need. Volunteers then started taking the food out to 2 locations in Sydney, with all that food being cooked by refugees based on recipes from their home countries. The team has now opened a new restaurant called Uma near Sydney's Chinatown, and right there refugees are not only in the kitchen but also at the helm, managing and serving customers. Producer Regina Botros went inside the kitchens and onto the streets to see what effects these acts of kindness were having on those giving and receiving.
Hi, I'm Ravi Prasad from Parliament on King and Uma, and welcome to our lounge room. So today is a Saturday afternoon. Across the road at Garden Lounge there's some live music. Inside of our cafe is Pierre. He is running the cafe this afternoon. Further behind you, in our test kitchen, there is Asma. Asma's a Rohingya Burmese, and helping her in the kitchen, I think, is Batuli. Batuli's from Guinea. They're doing the food for the soup kitchen tonight. This evening, our volunteers will be arriving to take the food that is currently being produced in the kitchen down to a service at Green Park and a service at Ward Park. And that food will go and it's distributed for free to the homeless or people in need. Hopefully you'll get a chance to go along with our volunteers and distribute the food. And then in Chinatown is a little curry house called Uma, and that's our new project. So running Uma right now is Sally, and Sally is a Burmese chef too, and helping her in the kitchen we have Viv, and Viv's from Iraq. And this is pretty much what would happen every Saturday here at Parliament King.
Oh, Ravi, well, I think I better get in the kitchen and see what's cooking.
Yeah, this is my first job, and then Ravi helped me a lot.
Hi, hello, my name is Asma Khan. I'm from Burma. I'm in Australia nearly 8 years.
So what are we making today?
Today I'm making like chicken curry and the vegetable stir fry. It's called, we call bhaji.
Yeah.
Kuragusto salon.
Yeah, this is in my Rohingyan language.
Oh, you can blend it for the vegetable as well. You can do all. Yeah, sometimes like the traditional cooking, yeah, everyone is their own method, a little bit changing. That's why this is a little bit my own style as well, yeah.
My name is Batuli. I come from West Africa.
Where exactly?
Guinea-Conakry.
And how long have you been here?
5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I help in the kitchen, chopping vegetables and chopping different salads.
Busy kitchen, always when we cook like at least 50 people, yeah, up to 500 people.
So does it remind you of home?
Yeah.
You're trying not to cry because of the onion?
Yeah, because of the onion, yes.
I'm putting this in the dish.
This one is remind me of my home country, because in my country we all do gathering in my grandma's house. The chicken curry with the sticky rice. Normally people cook the chicken curry in my traditional way is very spicy with the green chili, but in Australia people can't eat very spicy. That's why cook here is always with the paprika. But actually I can't eat very spicy either.
It smells so good.
I miss my grandparents' house. Every weekend, everyone is bring their own food. We sharing and we eat together.
Do you have family back there now?
Yeah, our family, mom's side, dad's side, everyone is very dangerous. I'm the Burmese Rohingyan, like a small ethnic community. We are the stateless. Right now, people want the citizen and very scary. Every day, nighttime, they can't sleep very well because of the military people doing, they cleaning our Rohingyan people. They don't want anything. This is called the genocide.
How was it arriving in Australia, and the language? Did you speak English?
My original language is Rohingyan and Burmese. And then the other one is Urdu and Hindi. and English is the last one. I can understand some of the Arabic, some of the Indonesian.
That is fantastic. Wow.
Thank you.
Was it hard to set up a life here?
Yeah, I think the first year, I thought it's hard. And then after the 1 year, Ravi, he's helping an asylum seeker, a coffee training at the Parliament on King Cafe. After the training, he gave me the job straight away. And then from 2015 now, 2021, still, people will still love my food.
How does it feel sharing your food?
Feeling fantastic. My feeling is the best, because people eating my food and then they don't have to make we call in our language make dua, you don't need to wishes for us yet.
Well, it's a few hours later and I'm back at Parliament on King and the music is still going and volunteers are gathering to distribute the food to some people experiencing homelessness or are really struggling.
Hi, my name is Karim Bohanedin. I'm a volunteer for the Superhuman Kindness run out of the Parliament on King Cafe in Newtown. One of the main reasons why it started is that refugees don't get any help from government agencies. So when the COVID hit and all the work dried up, suddenly they were unemployed and had no income, no safety net, nothing. So Ravi, who runs the cafe and also the charity, decided he was going to pay out of his own pocket for them to cook. So he would call the chefs in, give them a few hours work each week. They would make up some food, they'd get paid, and he would just give the food away to anyone who needed it. My partner and I were the first 2 volunteers to show up, and we were the only 2 people for the first month or 2. And then Pierre, who now works here, he came along and helped out, and then people would just come in and have a cup of coffee, and I would just say, who hasn't done a food run? And some random person would stick their hand up not knowing what we're talking about, and they're still here. None of the volunteers were born in Australia. We've got 2 French people, Julia, who's from Rome, a couple of Brazilians. I'm from Malaysia. One of the other volunteers is in there right now is from Indonesia. Someone who was a random help out is from Belarus.
How does it feel to do this work? I mean, you have a job. Why do you continue?
To be brutally honest, it made me feel better. With all the doom and gloom that was going on, suddenly I felt like I could do something to help. When we first started, it felt like you were in a disaster movie. We'd show up, we'd go to Martin Place, and there'd be some people you would obviously think, okay, they're homeless. They look like homeless people. But then there were international students and just random people. You would just think, wow, you were living 2 paychecks away from being homeless, and it's happened. People who are still at their normal makeup or their hair still done, wearing their normal clothes, looking utterly shell-shocked, would suddenly find themselves asking for help. And that was really quite confronting. For me in particular, COVID hit and, by the end of the week I was unemployed. I was finding myself, I'm not far from being one of these people. It kind of really brings it home just how thin that line is between what we consider us and them. You always feel like homeless people are all refugees or anyone like that who's not the same as you is other. And suddenly a lot of people in the position were feeling that, well, no, that everyone's together in this. They're just people, just like us, who are just having a very different experience.
So what's happening?
We've got 2 different runs to do. We're going to Green Park behind St. Vincent's Hospital, and then we go out to Ward Park in Surrey Hills, just near the Belvoir Theatre.
But I can just drive.
Okay, we'll be there in 2-3 hours.
This is Green Park, just near the infamous wall.
Quite a gathering of people tonight.
Yeah, it's relatively busy, not the busiest we've seen it.
Hello, I'm Rowan.
Hi, Rowan. Have you had something to eat?
I've had something to eat.
What have you had?
I had the sausages with the curry and veggies. It was yummy.
How does it feel to have this?
Gives me hope, connection. I'm a bit of a loner, so I was homeless for a number of years. I was sleeping on the trains. I got a tent and went to the national park and hid in the national park.
Can I ask it happened, living homeless in the first place?
I grew up in a very hostile, alcoholic father, mother, and so I turned to drugs and alcohol and gambling and sex and crime. And my parents kicked me out of home in my early 20s when I came out to them being gay. So doing this sort of stuff is connecting me with the world, really, you know. It's really opened my eyes up.
We're going straight from here to the other park? Is that what's happening? Yeah.
So we've now come to Ward Park. It's not so much homeless here as a vulnerable housing commission. People who are struggling, doing it hard. Usually it's food, sometimes they have clothes, toiletries. It's a big issue with the communities and women's toiletries. Also in Ward Park we have some lovely people who bring pet food. Once or twice a year they bring a vet.
Blankets! Who needs blankets? There you go, my friend. You're going to be sleeping well then in a blanket.
My name's Tony. I come from Surrey Hills. I come up here to get some cat and dog food. It's, something to look forward to every week, you know what I mean? Have a chat.
Do you mind if I ask you? Hi, Adam. Have you grabbed something to eat?
I certainly have.
Oh, what have you had?
I got the lasagna and the fried rice and the Danishes and what's the last thing? I think that's it. That's enough.
My name is Michael.
Do you come down regularly, Michael?
Almost every Saturday. Every other Saturday, definitely. Very helpful.
Community, sort of...
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys. No, wouldn't have been able to do without your help tonight. See you guys. See you next time.
See
It's a week later and we're about to head into Uma. Uma's slightly different. It still works the same way. We work exclusively with asylum-seeking refugee chefs producing food from their countries of origin. About to turn the corner and you can see the Kengakuma building in Darling Square where Uma is. Now Uma's a sister to Parliament on King.
And the aim of Uma is really about putting refugees in the driving seat, right?
That's right. So this is led by our Burmese chef, Sally. And helping her in the kitchen we have Viv, and Viv's from Iraq. So this is it. This is Uma.
I was just making roti. Everything. Hi, how are you? My name is Vivian. I'm from Iraq. I'm Iraqi. I've been in Australia 6 years until now.
Was it hard to leave your country?
Oh yeah, it was very hard actually, but...
Was it a dangerous sort of situation?
Yeah, lots of dangerous tours. The first one in Iraq. And then I traveled to Syria, and then it's happened the war again in Syria. I know, it's much trouble for me.
Could you have imagined this is where you would be this many years later?
I remember everything actually, but I just want to forget everything. I feel like I'm in new life.
You're basically cooking in the kitchen, but also serving and managing a small restaurant to the general public. There's more responsibility, it seems, here than at Parliament on King.
It's more responsibilities. Here you have to contact with people, see people all the time.
It must be good for your kind of confidence as a person.
Yeah, that's right. It's for my confidence and for my English also. All the time we are traveling from country to country to country. That doesn't make me feel good or confident. You can't imagine how hard when you are not living in a country and you don't know if you are living now or no. All my life I have to move. And then even now, my husband in Turkey and I am here, I can't travel to him. He can't come here. It's too dangerous. So it's nice to have a country. It's all right. It's in the past now, so I'm okay now. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Of course.
I started off doing this because I was frustrated with the politics of the situation. And I've stayed doing it because I fell in love with it. And I read a quote a number of years ago, and I think it was by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it said, the meaning of life is to be useful. And when I thought about that, I understand it now. So this has given my life meaning and purpose and direction and a sense of being useful that satisfied me like nothing else has ever before.
While you were born in Australia, your background isn't Australian.
That's right, yeah. My father is an Indian gentleman from Fiji, and my mother's an English woman, and their family's from Cheshire. Well, I started this with this idea of the issue of asylum seekers and refugees is left versus right, inner city versus whatever. What I've found in the process of doing this is that people are a lot kinder and more compassionate and more thoughtful and more generous and more caring and more trustworthy than we're taught to believe. I love you. I'll see you later.
Bye, dear. So much.
Producer Regina Botros speaking with Ravi Prasad. In addition to using his own money, Ravi has received support from a range of sources, including crowdfunding, a small grant from the City of Sydney, and recently Street Smart in Melbourne, who put up 2 months of cash to keep the soup kitchen going. And it's all for a good cause. Ravi hopes that eventually the soup kitchen will become self-funded. This is Life Matters.